What's going on, y'all? Attorney Tom here with another Reddit React video, and my girlfriend wanted to show off her nails. As always, if you have any memes or hypothetical questions, not real questions, hypothetical questions, because I'm not your lawyer, this isn't legal advice, go to r/AttorneyTom and put your post in there. Theoretical crime. So you have a really bad case of sleepwalking, and once you start, nothing can stop you. So one day your cousin from far away comes to spend the night at your house. He does not know about your sleepwalking problem, so you begin to sleepwalk in the kitchen, make food at 2 a.m. He goes into the kitchen to try to stop you from making food, and then you stab him in your sleep. What would happen in court? So there are 4 basic elements to a crime. One of the elements to a crime is something called the mens rea, the mental state, essentially. So in this particular instance, if you are not in control, you are sleepwalking, you're doing this involuntarily, potentially you could not be convicted of a crime because you never intended to stab. It was involuntary actions caused by the sleepwalking. But in all reality, it's going to likely depend on what jurisdiction you're in, what the laws of that jurisdiction are. For instance, perhaps it was foreseeable that this happened because if you sleepwalk all the time, you should not be sleeping near strangers. So you should have told your cousin, hey, we can hang out, but you shouldn't sleep at my house because I have a bad case of sleepwalking and I'll put you in danger. So maybe it was foreseeable. But just on an isolated instance where you've never walked before, or you've never stabbed somebody while sleepwalking, I could definitely see a scenario in which you haven't really committed a crime. Theoretical possible crime from a TV series is from Prison Break. One escapee escapes pushed into a shard of glass by a guard. However, he doesn't go to the infirmary as he needs to escape. He dies before he escapes from his injuries, so the other escapees get charged with felony murder as it was technically their fault he died. So yeah, I could definitely see this as being accurate. Felony murder is the murder committed in the course and scope of a felony. The important thing about felony murder is you don't need to be the one who causes the death. For instance, let's just say I'm on a high-speed chase and I have 20 cops following me. I'm zooming down the freeway at 100 miles per hour and the cops chasing me are going 100 miles per hour too. Well, one of the cops at the end of the convoy runs into a pedestrian and kills them. Well, I, the person committing the felony, created that situation, just committed felony murder. And that's the same sort of deal here. A prison break is a felony, so if somebody dies in the course and scope of the prison escape, well, they just committed felony murder. Attorney Tom's views on motivation and justice. Would be very interested to hear a serious take on why Tom practices law in 2021. It seems as though justice and consequences are something that are not easily enforced at all levels of society. Does it ever give pause to think about law and punishments being leveled against lower classes for the same unpunished offenses of wealthy and connected? Is justice just a concept that can be upheld at all levels? In the face of such inequalities, being a part of the system that is broken, fruitless, or is the only way to make a impactful change? So in all seriousness, that's why I really love what I do. I'm a catastrophic personal injury lawyer. I don't do any criminal stuff. And I know there's tons of issues with the criminal justice system, but the majority of the people who I represent are people who are in the lower socioeconomic realm, the people who are put in dangerous positions by wealthy corporations who put profits over people's lives, and their negligence, or sometimes even their just gross negligence, contributes to the injuries of my clients. They don't have safety procedures because it takes too long. They don't have safety equipment because it costs too much money. And they cause permanent, irreversible harm. And I get to help these people fight for the justice they deserve. And I'm not gonna lie, the money's good, and when I started my law firm, I also picked an area of law that I can make a living in, but in the world I choose to live in, getting justice and fighting for justice and making a good living aren't mutually exclusive. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Theoretical accusation. If somebody were to be wrongfully accused of a crime, so it ruined your reputation. Could they then sue the former prosecutor for defamation? That's really hard. There's generally governmental immunity for charging. Remember, charging somebody of a crime is not the same as convicting, but in the world we live in, sometimes it's guilty by association or guilty until proven innocent, even though that's not technically correct. Tom, why do you scroll all the way down to your oldest post? You can find between 1 or 2 weeks old instead of the newer post. So I'm trying to answer everybody's questions. I'm not the biggest typer. I don't like to respond to typing, but I want to respond to most people's questions. By the way, I will respond to your questions as long as it's not personal. I can't give you legal advice. I'm not your lawyer, so please ask your questions in hypotheticals or post memes. If you're not an organ donor on your government ID, but they say you wish to donate your organs on a notarized will your organs be donated? So that's a good question, and the short answer is, in theory, that's possible, but it takes a really, really long time to properly probate a will. So if I have a will that says I want to be an organ donor, and my government ID card doesn't say that, well, it's going to be probably months until that will is properly probated. At that point in time, you're probably already buried, and even if you're not buried, your organs probably aren't good to be transplanted. So it's more of a logistical problem. Can a citizen of France become a lawyer in the USA? I think so. I don't think that there's any particular barriers on who can become a lawyer in the USA. You do have to pass background checks and character and fitness tests, but I don't think being a citizen of another country is a barrier of entry. Would genetically bred anime cat girls get human rights? Moving on. 5 years ago, my boyfriend broke up with me, said, "You're a nerd who's obsessed with studying." I graduated from good law school and became a successful lawyer. Today, I met a new client who said she wants to divorce her husband, who cheated on her, and take everything she can from him. This man turned out to be my ex-boyfriend. I can't wait to see his face when he notices me in the courtroom sitting next to his wife, who will rip him off thanks to my help. Hilarious. Give us the height reveal. Attorney Tom, I'm 6'1". The lie detector determined that was a lie. Height reveal at 300,000 subs. I'm 6'1".
I confirm.
My girlfriend's right here. She says she confirms. Why are people online so adamant they aren't giving legal advice? Because we are not your lawyer, and we don't know the specific instance or circumstances surrounding your whole situation. And every state is going to have different laws. Every jurisdiction is going to have different laws. And we don't want to say something, you take it as fact, and it not be correct, and then you sue us. This type of legal content is fun because it's educational. I'm a lawyer. Hopefully y'all can learn how to think like a lawyer. And I'm pretty sure I just ripped off Legal with that saying, but that's kind of the point. You know, I'm an attorney and you want to know how attorneys think, and it's educational. But I'm not your lawyer. This isn't legal advice. That's why it's important. If I own land, can I declare independence? Yes, you can. Now, will that work? Probably not. Smart monkey, here's a story. Definitely didn't nor hasn't happened. A monkey gained sentience and performed street bugging but is caught. Let's say he has immediately executed by animal control because he didn't physically harm anybody. Could this monkey be sued since it knew what it was doing and had intent to do so? At what point does it have punishment as a human? The short answer is, as of right now, monkeys will not be treated as humans because they aren't human. So if a monkey gained sentience, that would be an issue that would need to be addressed at a higher level than just the court. Probably at the level of the legislature. They'd probably have to declare, what rights the monkeys have and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, if this is being watched in 10 years by our Planet of the Ape overlords, I'm sorry. That's just how it is right now. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to offend y'all. Outer space assault. If there were aliens living on Earth, would assault against them be illegal? Aliens wouldn't be classified as humans. This would need to be taken up at the legislature level. Although there are laws like, you can't treat animals with cruelty, stuff like that. I don't know if it would be assault. Again, if our alien overlords are watching this in 10 years, I'm sorry. That's just the way the law is now. Please forgive me. Will the manufacturer of this ring be liable in this situation? Potentially. That seems very unnecessarily dangerous. That's basically like a shotgun. All those beads are going to be like a shotgun when the airbag goes off. Is it murder or not? I'm being attacked by a flock of ravens. I take out my guns and shoot one of the ravens and kill it in self-defense. The rest scattered off, but my bullet accidentally hits and kills someone. Can I be charged with murder or manslaughter? Yeah, you could potentially be charged with both. It just depends on how foreseeable or how unnecessarily dangerous of a situation you were in. Obviously, I think manslaughter is probably the more straightforward charge, but if you did something so reckless, like if you were being attacked by ravens and you were in the middle of the county fair with thousands of people around you, and it was so obvious that firing the weapon might kill somebody, that could very well be elevated to murder because it was so bad, it was so egregious firing the weapon in that area that it was very foreseeable that you were going to kill somebody, so it pretty much rises to the degree of second or third degree murder. What would happen if I was an American and trained squirrels to attack people, then let them walk into Canada themselves and they attacked people in Canada? Would I be in trouble because they walked into another country themselves, then attacked people? Well, probably. You probably could get in trouble for Canada because you let them walk into Canada and you train them to attack, so it was foreseeable that they were going to cause damage in Canada, so you probably availed yourself to Canadian jurisdiction in some way or the other. And even if you didn't, Canada has a pretty good relationship with the U.S. They'd probably call the U.S. They'd probably get you arrested in the U.S. Done train squirrels and release them into Canada. Fan art for the man! How many fan arts does Tom have? I now have one fan art. Thank you very much. This is very epic. Very epic, very pog. Thank you. This is my first fan art. You're a beast. Is Attorney Tom our Lord and Savior? Yes, you better say yes. Yes. Obviously, no, Legal Eagle is. You dare say Legal Eagle's name in my subreddit. How dare y'all? I'm just kidding. I actually really like Legal Eagle. He's definitely an inspiration behind me starting this whole deal. You know, there's actually a lot of really cool lawyers on YouTube, but don't mention his name in my subreddit. I love democracy. Fantastic. This is just fantastic. When we know there's land on the other side of the water, we have no choice but to set sail. 420, 69%. This was the best of both worlds. This was, congratulations, we did it. This was great. Town with no laws, Slab City, there's a town with no laws. How's this the thing? It's probably not a thing. Just because your town doesn't have any local laws doesn't mean you have to abide by the state and federal law, because you do. You have to abide by state and federal law. I imagine a town with no laws is just like an unincorporated area that doesn't have a local government. Doesn't mean there's no laws. Do I have to pay my taxes? I don't pay my taxes because when I do, a large amount of money disappears from my bank account, so I could get a blessing from Tom to not pay taxes. No, you have to pay your taxes. You get a downvote, and you don't get my blessing. He said he doesn't pay his taxes because when he does, money disappears from his account. Welcome to the real world. I love this. I've seen this before. I saw this when I was perusing down. Fantastic. I already gave it an upvote. Is it technically illegal to make up a fake quote, stay strapped or get clapped? It just depends. It depends on what you say. Does it harm somebody? Is it a parody? Is it comedy? What would be the repercussions for breaking into a private practice doctor's office to stop yourself from bleeding out? So in the world of torts, there's the concept of necessity, right? So if you need to break into somewhere to save your life, and objectively save your life, you know, not like figuratively or anything like that, well, sometimes that's justified. It's okay. So I don't know if you commit any crime, but if you do that, you have to pay back any and all civil damages that you caused. For instance, if you broke into a doctor's office and saved yourself, you probably have to pay for the window that you broke, pay for the stuff that you used, all the equipment, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, did you commit a crime? Probably not. I wouldn't imagine anybody would prosecute you for saving your own life. Robbing a bank with a note but no weapon. I'm not suggesting anybody try this, but I've heard that if you hand a teller note saying that it's a robbery or something, nature hands you the money, it's not technically considered robbery because she voluntarily gave you the money without being under the threat of duress. Is there any truth to this? No, there's no truth to that. Robbing a bank with a note is still robbery because they don't know. They don't know if you have a weapon or not. You're still forcefully taking that money. Now, in full disclosure, if you don't have a weapon, they might have less charges against you, such as, you know, committing a felony with a deadly weapon or aggravated robbery or aggravated assault or whatever. You might not get charged with that because you never had a weapon, but it is still very much illegal to try to rob a bank even without a weapon. And by the way, you really don't want to rob a bank. That is a federal crime. You really don't want to mess around with the feds. It's not a good deal. The Drake format is dead, but I don't care. Yeah. Screw r/legal advice. r/AttorneyTom's where it's at. Upvote. Will this be considered fraud on the U.S. boyfriend who dated 35 women, told each one he had a different birthday, so he regularly received gifts is arrested for fraud in Japan. Would that be legal in the United States? I don't know. I don't think that's illegal. It's pretty bad, but it's kind of funny, but it's bad. Don't do that. Death Zone, Attorney Tom defense. Could I use your Death Zone videos? Defendant, I was told it was legal in your video and is ignorant to its illegality. So ignorance is not a defense. And I did not say it was legal. I just said it's never been tested. Big difference. Sign the contract, Jake. Sign the contract, baby. I'm not gonna lie, I would get destroyed by Jake Paul. Absolutely destroyed. But would I get destroyed by Jake Paul for $100 million? Probably. Probably. Let me know in the comments who you think I should fight in a boxing match. But it's got to be somebody who I have an actual shot with. Legal boxing match. I don't know. I think legal could probably beat the shit out of me too. Prisoner who died and was brought back claims his life sentence has technically ended. He's not wrong? I think you're probably wrong. I'm pretty sure, just a reasonable person will construe that as life sentence being for good, not like your heart stopped for 2 minutes and you're brought back. All my friends gathered up together. I have friends. I have 3 friends. And I have all my subscriber online friends. I work a lot, and when I'm not working, I make videos, so I don't really have a lot of time to socialize. Tom Cruise and Attorney Tom are the same person. Proof. Illuminati confirmed. Made sure to boost and give them a few tips. What does that say? He's a professional Rocket League player, and I can't stress this enough. He is 4'1". 50%'s not bad. I'm 500 batting average. You're going to the Hall of Fame. You're like the best baseball player of all time. Thank you for that. Okay, that's it for today's video. This was a lot of fun. I see a whole bunch of other memes and interesting questions on here as well, and I'm gonna get to them. But we can't do it all at once. You guys have things to do. We gotta make shorter videos. We gotta make good content. We gotta spread it out. So thank y'all so much for watching. Hit that like button. Ask any comments, questions, concerns down below, or go to r/AttorneyTom. Join the community. We're having a lot of fun. Hit that subscribe button if you want to be a part of this community. We're growing like crazy. Height reveal at 300,000 subs. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.